We're still in the book of Joshua, y'all, chapter 19. Y'all bear with us a little bit, and we're going to get right back into this. If y'all got the smartphones, just Google in Joshua. You should be able to pick up a signal, Joshua 19, and y'all kind of read along. As soon as we get the right signal on that Wi-Fi, we'll be able to have it on the board as well when you can read along. Yeah, we just painted the picture, set the foundation so y'all see why the Lord destroyed, but why the judgment had to be administered. Right? It went too far. Yeah, everything. The judge, everybody. The whole town arrived when they caught you coming through there.
This is only a little piece I took.
Yeah. They didn't taunt you with it, huh? All right, let's get to Joshua chapter 19, verse 1. And the cities of Sodom had 4 judges to 4 cities. And these were their names: Sirach in the city of Sodom, Sharkad in Gomorrah, Zabnak in Abna, and Menon in Zeboim. And Eleazar, Abraham's servant, applied to them different names. And he converted Sirach to Shakrach, and Sharkad to Shakrurach, and Zebnak to Kebzobit, and Menon to Maxlogan. Them sound like footman. Maxlogan. And by desire of their 4 judges, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah had beds erected in the streets of the city. See that? And by desire of the judges, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah had beds erected in the streets of the city. Beds. Come on, bro. And if a man came to these places, they laid hold of him and brought him to one of their beds, and by force made him to lie in them. Beds in the streets of it.
Take him, son.
Come on, bro. And as he lay down, 3 men would stand at the head and 3 men at the feet, and measure him by the length of the bed. And if the man was less than the bed, these 6 men would stretch him at the end, at each end. And when he cried out to them, they would not answer him. And if he was longer than the bed, they would draw together the 2 sides of the bed at each end until the man had reached the gates of death. And if he continued to cry out to them, they would answer him, saying, "Thus shall it be done to the man that cometh into our land." And when the men heard all these things that the people of the cities of Sodom did, they remained from coming there. They refrained from coming there. And when a poor man came to their land, they would give him silver and gold, and cause a proclamation in the whole city not to give him a morsel of bread to eat. So we'll give him silver and gold, but don't give him no food. Can't even buy no food, huh? But he got silver and gold. Come on, bro. And if the stranger should remain there some days and die from hunger, not having been able to obtain a morsel of bread, then at his death, all the people of the city would come and take their silver and gold, which they had given to him. Scandalous. You're going to get a poor man silver and gold, but deny him to buy some food.
They had cell phones then for the word of mouth.
It's the kingdom. It's the kingdom of wicked. It was flourishing at one point. Right. Why everybody go to Vegas? Right. Verse 9. And those that could recognize the silver or gold which they had given him took it back. And at his death, they also stripped him of his garments. And they would fight about them. And he that prevailed over his neighbor took them. They would after that carry him and bury him under some of the shrubs in the desert. So did they to all the days to any one of that came to them and died in their land. And in the course of time, Sarah sent Eleazar to Sodom to see Lot and inquire after his welfare. Right, Genesis 24, Eleazar was Abraham's servant. He was stupid.
but he was a servant of our God. So being that he was a steward of Abraham, Sarah was like, hey, look, go on down there and check on Lot. Go on down there and check on bro, because it's very wicked down there. Now what happened to Eliezer? Come on, bro.
And Eliezer went to Sodom, and he met a man of Sodom fighting with a stranger. And the man of Sodom stripped the poor man of all his clothes and went away. And this poor man cried to Eliezer and supplicated his favor on account of what the man of Sodom had done to him. And he said to him, why dost thou act thus to the poor man who came to thy land? And the man of Sodom answered Eliezer, saying, is this man thy brother? Or have the people of Sodom made thee a judge this day? That thou speakest about this man.
It's got to do with you. They mind your business up.
Right. Verse 16. And Eliezer strove with the man of Sodom on account of the poor man. And when Eliezer approached to recover the poor man's clothes from the man of Sodom, he hastened with a stone, smote Eliezer in the forehead.
Now he bleeding. Yeah. Now Eliezer bleeding because he's doing what's right, standing up for the poor, the innocent. Right? He gets bricked, or he get hit in the forehead. Yeah, come on.
And the blood flowed copiously from Eliezer's forehead. And when the man saw the blood, he caught hold of Eliezer, saying, give me my hire, for I have rid thee of this bad blood that was in thy forehead. For such is the custom and the law in our land.
Like, look, you bust his head in the white meat, and he tell you, pay me to get rid of that bad blood. Y'all see, y'all starting to see why Sodom and Gomorrah had to be destroyed. Like judgment, everything is turned upside down at this point. How you make him bleed, right, but then charge him to get rid of his bad blood.
Right.
Come on, bro.
And Eliezer said to him, thou hast wounded me and requirest me to pay thee thy hire? And Eliezer would not hearken to the words of the man of Sodom. And the man laid hold of Eliezer and brought him to Shachra, the judge of Sodom, for judgment. And the man spoke to the judge, saying, I beseech thee, my lord, thus has this man done. For I smote him with a stone, that the blood flowed from his forehead. And he is unwilling to give me my hire. And the judge said to Eliezer, this man speaketh truth to thee.
That's the same judge.
Right.
That's Judge Judy now, boy.
That's the same judge.
Give him his hire, for this is the custom in our land. And Eliezer heard the words of the judge, and he lifted up a stone and smote the judge. And the stone struck on his forehead, and the blood flowed copiously from the forehead of the judge. And Eliezer said, if this then is the custom in your land, give thou unto this man what I should have given him. Thou didst decree. And Eliezer left the man of Sodom with the judge, and he went away.
All right, come on down, verse 26. 26, read on down.
Verse 26. And Paltilith, the daughter of Lot, saw this man lying in the street, starved with hunger. And no one would give him anything to keep him alive. And he was just upon the point of death. And her soul was filled with pity on account of the man. And
Mercy. See that mercy, right? Come on.
And she fed him secretly with bread for many days. And the soul of this man was revived. For when she came forth to fetch water, she would put the bread in the water pitcher. And when she came to the place where the poor man was, she took the bread from the pitcher and gave it him to eat. so she did many days.
Right, showing mercy. Everybody else ain't showing mercy. Lot's daughter decided to show mercy. All right, come on, bro.
And all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah wondered how this man could bear starvation for so many days.
Like he ain't dead yet. He should have been dead. All right, come on, bro.
And they said to each other, this can only be that he eats and drinks. For no man can bear starvation for so many days or live as this man has without even his countenance changing. And 3 men concealed themselves in a place where the poor man was stationed, to know who it was that brought him bread to eat. Then Paltiel, the daughter of Lot, went forth that day to fetch water. And she put bread into the pitcher of water. And she went to draw water by the poor man's place. And she took out the bread from the pitcher and gave it to the poor man, and he ate. And the 3 men saw what Paltiel did to the poor man. And they said to her, it is thou then who hast supported him. and therefore has he not starved, nor changed in appearance, nor died like the rest. And the 3 men went out of the place in which they were concealed, and they seized Paltiel and the bread which was in the poor man's hand. And they took Paltiel and brought her before the judge. And they said to them, thus did she do. And it is she who supplied the poor man with bread. Therefore did he not die all this time. Now therefore declare to us the punishment due to this woman for having transgressed our law.
Punishment for being merciful. See that? Show you the mindset of the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, come on, brother.
And the people of Sodom and Gomorrah assembled and kindled a fire in the street of the city. And they took the woman and cast her into the fire, and she was burned to ash.
Jump on down, brother. Jump on down. Let's finish it off. Verse 44 on down.
Verse 44. And the Lord was provoked at this and at all the works of the cities of Sodom, for they had abundance of food and had tranquility amongst them.
So you gotta have plenty of food on deck, tranquility, Lord provoked. Things going good for y'all, y'all still wicked. Lord like, oh, okay. Judgment time. Come on, brother.
And still would not sustain the poor and the needy.
Righteous men look out for the poor. Today we look down on homeless people, people that are less fortunate. That ain't what men of the Lord supposed to be doing.
That's right.
You're going to be looking out for the poor. Blessed are the poor, for yours is the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
Right, you got some, brother?
Just like America, you know, they got all these restaurants and they throwing so much food away. And there's so many people that's hungry out here. Yeah. Instead of throwing it in that garbage bin, won't you just take some of that down to the little home and feed people?
Yeah. Like one brother, you post that on Google about all the tax-free money, $86.5 million the churches bring in every year. It's enough money to feed everybody in America with food stamps and to solve the homeless crisis.
Say that again.
$86.5 million tax-free money come through the Sunday doctrine churches. Every year, $86.5 million. That's enough money.
That almost seems a little undervalued.
Yeah, it do. But just that number alone is enough to feed, to house every homeless person in America and to pay for the food stamps in America.
Yeah. They deposit $50 million in the bank every month morning.
That was like
beans.
That was in 2000. And if y'all don't believe it, just Google Joel Osteen's church got robbed 3 weeks ago. $600,000 cash from that Sunday service, but that's not counting the checks, the money order, and the credit card. That was just the cash from one Sunday, just the cash alone.
They robbed the church.
Where you gonna get that?
Y'all, we're gonna move on.
Finish it off.
And that's just the 86 and half that they accounted for and told us about.
Right.
Oh, that's what Brooks said.
Yeah, when he was saying, like, you know that's understated.
Right.
Come on, let's finish.
Here we go, y'all. And in those days, their evil doings and sins became great before the Lord. And the Lord sent for the two of the angels that had come to Abraham's house to destroy Sodom and its cities. And the angels rose up from the door of Abraham's tent after they had eaten and drunk. And they reached Sodom in the evening. And Lot was then sitting in the gate of Sodom. And when he saw them, he arose to meet them, and he bowed down to the ground. And he pressed them greatly and brought them into his house. And he gave them victuals which they ate. And they abode all night in his house. And the angel said to Lot, Arise, go forth from this place, thou and all belonging to thee, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of this city.
See, so it ain't like Sodom and Gomorrah could have been cured. You feel me? It was to the point of no return. Right? Even Abraham asked him, if you find this many, will you spare it? He's like, yeah, I'll spare it if that many is fine. If that many wasn't fine. Showing you it's a period of time when grace runs out. Right? And then the Lord got a clean house.
That's right.
We'll get rid of that which is filthy. You do it every day. Don't you clean your house every day? Huh? Won't you wash your dirty clothes? Why? For what? Why? Why is it filthy? Who told you that? See, you do that judgment every day. You get rid of the undesirables and you keep the desirables. You do it every day. The dusty house, dust this house, clean up, wash the dishes.
That's right.
Do some spring cleaning.
That's right.
See, so you do the judgment the Lord gonna do anyway. You get rid of what you don't want and you keep what you want.
That's right.
And you do it every day. So when the Lord is in the judgment, won't be no excuse. You perform this daily. You even down to the clothes you pick to wear. No, I'm going to wear this and I'm going to discard that. So you got the same type of judgment and you administer it daily. But when the Lord enters the judgment, like, oh, hold on. What are you doing? What you mean? What are you doing? You get rid of the undesirables all the time.
That's right.
So the Lord going to do the same thing. All right, finish.
For the Lord will destroy this place. And the angels laid hold upon the hand of Lot, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hands of his children, and all belonging to him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And they said to Lot, Escape for thy life.
Get up out of here, boy.
And he fled, and all belonging to him. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah, and upon all these cities, brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew the cities, all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground, and Adon, the wife of Lot, looked back to see the destruction of the city.
Now we know Lot's wife's name. We always used to say she ain't got no name. Right. Her name is Ado.
Ado.
That's her name, A-D-O. Ado. The wife of Lot. You learn something every day. I didn't know that.
Right.
We always say, you know what, she didn't even have no name. Right. She got a name. She's just called Lot's wife, but in the book of Josh, her name is Ado. All right, come on, bro.
For her compassion was moved on account of her daughters who remained in Sodom, for they did not go with her.
A lot of them had more than just them two daughters. At the end of it, there was other daughters. One of them got killed.
You know, one with the son-in-law.
Yes.
Two son-in-laws, so these were the two daughters, but the two
You had two
virgins.
daughters.
Right, those are the ones that never known them.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Verse 53, and when she looked back, she became a pillar of salt, and it is yet in that place unto this day.
Put that pillar of salt in that dictionary right there. Yeah. That Bible dictionary. Show the pillar of salt standing for y'all to think it's fairy tales.
Still an example to this day.
Yeah, it's still there. I finish on down to verse 52.
I'm in verse 54.
Go down to 56 and we're going to read now.
And the oxen which stood in that place daily licked up the salt to the extremities of their feet. And in the morning it would spring forth afresh. And they again licked it up unto this day. And Lot and two of his daughters that remained with him fled and escaped to the cave of Adumelech. And they remained there for some time. And Abraham rose up early in the morning to see what had been done to the cities of Sodom. And he looked and beheld the smoke of the cities going up like the smoke of a furnace.
We read that already early in Genesis. See that? Same thing, but it's more detailed account. So now you can tell people, when you're talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, it was more than just Larry on Leroy going on. It was a whole bunch of misdealing, of false judgment, underhanded tactics going on, and for all that, the Lord destroyed it. Not, even though that homosexuality is a major thing, not just for that, it was for all that He destroyed it. Right?
And Lot and his 2 daughters remained in the cave, and they made their father drink wine, and they lay with him. For they said there was no man upon the earth that could raise up seed from them.
That lets you know it looked like a nuclear bomb hit that deal, man. It just said Abraham already was looking from afar, but from where they was at, they like, look, the whole world is in. Yeah. Then what they do, they get their daddy drunk. It's another way you know the Bible is the truth. It even speak bad about stuff that you scared to speak of today.
That's right.
He even talk bad about his own people. You feel me? Treacherous Judas, stiff-necked Israel.
That's right.
Feel me? But when you get them something else that's trying to pump up their own thing, they gonna just show you all the good things. Right. And then Bible don't hide. It show you. Look how this went off. Lot daughters got him drunk. That's in the Bible. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Because it don't hide. It don't just show you the good. It's gonna show you the ugly too. So you can show it. You say what about?
No, I'm saying he had that devil. Go ahead now.
Go ahead. Show that.
Yeah, this is a picture that Mallory was talking about. I know y'all probably can't see that. It's small, but it's still there.
Y'all see that?
It's on the lot.
It's under lot. In the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary, it's under lot on page 493.
That pillar of salt right there.
It's right here. I don't know if you can get that on the camera.
That's Isaiah after you finish that verse.
And I can read what's
Finish it
on the
off.
camera.
Finish this verse. They thought that the whole earth was destroyed. And they both lay with their father, and they conceived and bare sons. And the firstborn called the name of her son Moab, saying, "For my father did I conceive him." He is the father of the Moabites unto this day.
So you got the people that's more science, temple, gospel. They all teach they come from the Moabites. They say, yeah, we're from Moab. Moab means he is from his father. Right? But his father is his grandfather. So you get them to go, okay, you're a Moabite, huh? Oh, so your granddaddy's your dad. They teach that we the Moabites.
That's right.
You see that? Come on, bro.
And the younger also called her son Benjamin.
Ben who?
Benjamin.
And the Negro come say Ben. Come on, bro.
He is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. And after this, Lot and his 2 daughters went away from there, and he dwelt on the other side of Jordan with his 2 daughters and their sons. And the sons of Lot grew up, and they went and took themselves wives from the land of Canaan. And they begot children and were fruitful and multiplied. So y'all see that the first thing they did, they got them drunk. Because if this was a righteous act for rebuilding the kingdom, they never would have got them drunk. But they got them drunk because they knew Lot would have never went for that. Because nowhere from Genesis to Revelation or any writings that the father was ever on daughter or the mother was ever on a son. You would have brother and sister in occasion, but you would never ever have father on daughter or mother on son. It ain't never been permitted. So when we talk about the virgin birth, and they say we talking about the Immaculate Conception, no, that's son on mother. They getting close together. They knowing one another. That ain't never happened with the virgin birth written in these scriptures. So we're not talking about the Immaculate Conception when we talk about the virgin birth. That's 2 different understandings. And that's what you have to do is ask them first. When they say, you talking about the virgin birth, you talking about the Immaculate Conception. No, we ain't. Ain't that son and mother love? You won't find that in Matthew through nowhere. You won't find it. Nowhere where mother and son, unless there's wickedness abounding. Just like this. And that's why they couldn't enter into the congregation of the Lord up to the 10th generation. That's the reason they can't enter in. It has to be 10 generations that remove that sin out of their look and out of that before somebody reach back and say, oh man, that's that father and daughter love thing. You know, and that's what Benjamin Carter is actually doing.
He's actually doing that.
Over in the land. His daughter is suing him about his 2 children. You can look out there now. His son died from a rare disease, and it's got on there, my Saba is my Abba.
My grandfather's my father.
Grandfather is my father. But this is the level of wickedness that these little small kingdoms go to when they run out of all the women.
No doubt. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12 next. It shows some mercy. And it shows some judgment, right? It shows mercy so we can understand the whole spectrum of our God. Because today we tend to be too far left and too far right.
That's right.
Instead of balanced out in the middle. Lord got judgment and mercy. Mercy and judgment.
That's right.
Too far in any direction is dangerous for you. Because you'll be in la-la land with too much mercy. It'll be a free fall. Everything goes. Don't matter. You can't say nothing. You can't judge me. You get to hearing all that. You can't say nothing. You're trying to blind out of stuff. Or if it's too much judgment, there's no avenue for nobody to learn you. Just as soon as you see it, cut his head. But then he never learns.
Right, and you will hear this, let him without sin cast the first stone. I'm not condemning you. I'm just telling you these examples. Going to be a witness to you whether I tell it to you or not. This is not about casting the first stone because it ain't nobody on earth that could throw a stone. But when you read Deuteronomy 17, the stone throwing was for whoever was not guilty of that crime because it was stone throwing. Somebody was throwing the stones. It was a practice. Somebody was put to death when we read all through the law. But if you committed adultery and the person caught in adultery, you couldn't be one of them that throw the stone because that would make you a hypocrite. It was somebody else free of that sin that could throw them stones.
But even the other brother Paul in Romans the 2nd chapter say how you judge somebody when you're doing the same thing.
That's right.
You're not saying the word can't come out for you for correction or whatever, but to let you know, check yourself.
That's right.
How are you condemning sodomites and you were sodomite?
That's right. Eddie Long.
Well, what are you at? How you condemning thieves and you a thief?
That's right.
I can have a quick witness talk.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm reading Matthew chapter 7. I'll start at verse 1 right quick. It says, judge not, that ye be not judged. Right. For what, he said, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye met, it shall be measured to you again. And why behold thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in thy own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine eye.
See, so he's saying you not only trying to tell him he shouldn't be switching around, but you got a whole switching outfit at home. Complete with stiletto.
They let you know before you bring correction, make sure you ain't doing it either. Right. Hey, Joel, was you done with that?
No, it says verse 5, thou hypocrite. First cast out, boy, this is a kicker here. Take notice of this verse right here. This is the kicker. Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out thy own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly. You hear that? See clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
That's right.
What?
Hey, Joel. Hey, grab Romans 2 for me, bro.
Y'all, so see what he's saying? The word hypocrite means is saying, don't do something. I'm telling you not to do it, but I'm doing the same thing. Right. So that's why the word hypocrite came in there, because you're going to see in there, judge righteously, judge righteous matter. And this is what he's talking about, the balanced judgment. You weighing both sides of it. We have to make those judgments. You have to make those judgments for your children. You can't just let them have their way and say, well, no, I don't want to say nothing. These are the judgments you have to weigh. You know, when you hear a child, Lord, get out of my room. Get out of my room. All these my room.
Just all four walls with it.
Right. Absolutely. Read that. Say it loud. Say it again.
Say it again.
He was basically saying, like,
Hold it down, y'all.
you get judged based off of what you believe in. And so if you believe in the law, you get judged by it. If you don't believe in it, you don't get judged by the law. So that's how that's like. I believe that was in the T Alliance. They not get judged based off of those standards. They believe the homosexual and the transgenders.
Right.
So does that mean most not so much as we based on that?
What he say? Yeah, exactly.
You know, see what he's saying? He's saying, look, the law, because of what Romans say, is saying, because the law say, well, if you believe the law, then that's what you're going to be judged by. We don't believe the law, so we ain't going to be judged by it. So what is that but lawlessness?
Lawlessness. All right, well, let's read this real quick. Hey, we're going to Matthew 12. We're going to Matthew 12. And yo, read that Romans 2 for me real quick.
Romans 2 and 3.
Start at verse 1.
Okay.
Hold on, y'all. We're going to write to Romans 2 to explain what Brother just brought up.
Romans 2 verse 1. Therefore thou art inexcusable, O man, whatsoever thou art thou judges. Whosoever thou art that judges, for wherein thou judges another, thou condemnest thyself. For thou that judgest does that same thing.
So when he was saying, judge not lest you be judged, clear it up right here, Romans 2, because you doing the same exact thing.
Uh-oh. Hypocrite.
If that's the case, everybody be quiet and then can't nobody be wrong at all. You can't tell the little brother in the streets, get out the streets. You can't tell your children no. You can't do none of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there has to be some type of discernment between what's right and what's wrong. It has to be. You feel me? So he's saying right here that if you doing the same thing, how you telling him he gonna be condemned and you doing the same exact thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, hit that verse 2, brother.
Verse 2. But we are sure that the judgment of Yahweh is according to truth.
According to what?
According to truth.
So wherever you end up in eternity, that's a true judgment.
That's right.
Lake of fire or the heavenly gates. Why? Because the judgment of the Most High is true. All right, come on, brother.
The judgment of Yahweh is according to truth against them which committed such things. And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things, and doeth the same,
Right.
that thou shalt escape the judgment of Yahweh?
You think you're going to escape the judgment of God? You doing the same thing. Come on, brother.
Or despisest thou the riches of his goodness, of forbearance,
And forbearance.
And long suffering, not knowing that the goodness of Yahweh leadeth thee to repentance.
The goodness, the mercy of the Lord leads you to repent.
That's right.
So he showed you that the Lord has judgment and mercy. That's ours. You see that? Come on, brother.
But after that hardness,
Thy
hardness and
impenitent heart. Hard-headed. Come on.
treasurest up thou themselves wrath against the day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of God.
And you treasure up unto yourself wrath against the day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of God. Verse 6.
Verse 6. Who will render to every man according to his deed.
What is a deed?
Your words.
Those are actions. Right? Lord will render to every man according to what he been doing. That's everybody. That means nobody's done void of judgment.
Y'all heard that?
Nobody. All right, come on, brother.
To them who by patience, continuance in well-doing, seek for glory and honor and immortality, eternal life.
To them who by patient continuance in well-doing, those that endure to the end.
That's right.
See that? Come on, brother.
But unto them that are contentious, and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath, tribulations and anguish, upon every soul of man that doeth evil.
Upon every soul of man that doeth evil. That's everybody.
That's everybody, ain't it, bro?
Come on, brother.
This for all of y'all, of the Jew first, and also unto the Gentile.
See? That means blessings to the Jew first, and then to the Gentile, curses to the Jew first, and then to the Gentile. See that? So nobody escapes the judgment
That's
of the Lord.
just, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
Just.
Come on, brother.
But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first, and also to the Gentile.
Right?
For there is no respect of person with Yahweh.
So there's no respect of person with God. You're not going to be able to pay him off and say, Lord, I was the great prophet, Prince, Jazzy Shofar. Like, it don't matter. What was you doing?
Right.
So there's no respect of person with the Lord. Male, female, Jew, Gentile. Right? Whatever you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be doing it.
That's right.
The Lord is going to reward everybody according to what they've been doing. There's no respect of person. In other words, won't nobody be able to slide with technicality just because they got Abraham blood.
That's right.
You got to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. You got something?
Yeah, you put a little precept. Book of James, chapter 2, verse 8. Start verse 8. It says, if you fulfill the royal law according to the scriptures, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. You do well. But if you have respect of persons, ye commit sin, and are convinced of the law as transgressors.
The Lord don't have respect of persons.
That's right.
Today we'll turn a blind eye to what we're supposed to say or what we're supposed to minister. Because you cool with the brother.
Hold it down, y'all.
Or you cool with the sister or the brother. You won't say what needs to be said.
Right.
See, the Lord, he said, if you have respect of persons, you what? You said it. Now, you ain't supposed to fear nobody to the point where you gonna bring them the word and show them, like, look, we ain't supposed to be doing that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Or this, that, these three, we ain't supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that because there's a respect of person or that's your favorite group. Can't be like that.
Okay.
Finish off where you going so we get this Matthew 12.
Verse 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law, and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now if you commit no adultery, yet if you kill, you are become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do, as they shall be judged by the law of liberty. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy.
You hear that? Won't be no mercy for you if you're not showing mercy.
You hear that?
Yeah, we get out here and teach about what's coming and all that, but every day supposed to be a self-check for yourself.
That's right.
Because I mean, you know where you struggling at, where you weak at. You feel me? Nobody get the confessing up in here, but you know, it is. I mean, I know I slack at and come up short at. You feel me? You got to deal with that regardless. There won't be no excuse, but Lord, you know I was kind of weak in that area.
You know my heart.
Yeah, you better get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together. Thank him for his mercy because, I mean, hey, once you enter the judgment, it's a wrap. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing. Finish off where you going.
Verse 13 again. But he shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy. And mercy rejoiceth against judgment.
Mercy rejoices against judgment. All right, let's get this. Matthew chapter 12 is where we going.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 1.
Show the Messiah himself. He shows some judgment, he's getting some of this mercy.
Right. So y'all understand clearly when somebody tell you can't judge me, you know, I can judge the matter. I'm not deciding, I can't decide if you go to the lake of fire.
Right.
I can't do that. So I can't condemn you by judgment. I can't do that. That's for the law. But I can show you and tell you what's wrong. And if I'm doing it, I got to include myself. Man, me and you gonna die.
Yeah, or you know, I mean, flat out. You let it be known, like, you gotta come out with the correction though.
That's right.
And he told Ezekiel, let them know where they going off at. If you don't tell them, I'm gonna require it of you.
Uh-oh.
You feel me? So it just means everybody gotta have a self-check.
That's
right.
right.
Together, you know what I'm saying? But you don't turn a blind eye to some wickedness. Like it's all good. I mean, just trying to blame. Don't say nothing. You feel me? I mean, you saw it, but then somebody's life was required. Then what? Man, I should have said something. First mind told you what? Say something. Why you ain't say nothing? That was your favorite rule. Let's get this Matthew 12. Bro.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 1. At that time, Jesus, Yahushua, went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were in hunger. And he began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat.
So the disciples hungry, right? Sabbath day. What you say though? Oh, dog, wait till the sun go down. Man, what you say? I mean, look, somebody's hungry. Starvation murder. Today, if you let her along with it, you just like, oh, dog. You just want to suck it. Hey, little short. My little joke was number 2.
Right.
2 y'all. Hey, Malak, you got to suck it up till the sun go down, bro. You can't eat.
That's right. Need to learn how to fast early anyway.
Okay. All right, let's see how the Lord operated, because Messiah never seen him. We know this.
That's right.
But let's see how he operated in the law.
Verse 2.
All right.
But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
So if they saying that, that means what? They got a law to show that what? You're violating.
Right.
They saying this is a violation of law for eating on the Shabbat. This is what they saying, right? Come on, brother.
But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was a hungry, and they that were with him?
So he going to the history. No, y'all supposed to be top scholars and lawyers in this. You ain't never read that?
Verse 7
When David did his thing?
That's right.
Come on, brother.
How he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat,
Right.
neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests.
Because there's sacred laws put out in the temple every day for the priest to eat. Right? But these men been banging the war of God right here. Starving to death. Hey, need some food.
Living by the Spirit.
You see that?
That's right.
So what do you do at that point? Do you show mercy? Oh, yeah. Is the Lord going to feed them? Or is you like, oh, no, dog, that's only for the priests. So the brothers got to starve. And they been banging the war of God.
That's right.
This whole time. What do? Do you say, okay, no, nigga, wait till the sun go down? Do you say, get you some food, man? Show some mercy.
And when they was plucking that corn, that's in the law anyway.
Yeah, we got it. Come on, bro.
Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless?
Never read that? Y'all write down Numbers 28. Let me see what he's talking about. Read on your own time. Go ahead, brother.
But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy.
I will have what?
Mercy. And not sacrifice. Ye would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day.
And this is the top preachers of his day. If you knew what mercy was about, you would have been condemning the guiltless. You putting the wrong people to death because too much judgment. You ain't even shown no mercy. You just condemning folk right off the bat. Come on, bro.
And when he was departed thence, he went into the synagogue. And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered. And they asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? That they might accuse him.
So now think of your mindset on this one. Is it lawful to do righteousness on the Sabbath day? That's what they asked. Right. Is it lawful to do a righteous act on God's Sabbath day? They have been so enslaved by tradition of men, they couldn't even read the commandments of the Most High and show, even God himself showed mercy. What did Noah find?
That's right.
Grace. Another word for mercy. Come on, brother.
And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep? And if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out?
Don't y'all do that? Your animal falls into the pit all the time. You take your garment off, roll your sleeves up, and get down in that ditch and get that sheep up. You do that. Right? Come on, bro.
How much then is a man better than a sheep?
Good question. If your animal is worthy to be loose from its enslavement or its trap, Or is a condition is in why this man can't be healed right here? Come on, bro.
Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. Then says he to the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole, like as the other.
Verse 14.
Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him.
See, they're trying to destroy the Lord for doing what's righteous.
Right.
See that? No mercy. See, mercy and judgment is two opposite ends of the spectrum. We as people need to be somewhere in the middle.
That's right.
We can't be too far either way. We need to throw everything off. Right? But you got to show mercy at the same time. But yeah, all the Lord's a man of war. Yeah, we know all that for sure. And the Lord gonna burn Babylon. Yeah, for sure. But when he tell Jeremiah, he ain't just tell him to pull down. He's gonna build up.
That's right.
See, that's the mercy for a build up. Yeah, we're going to tear down the lies and all that, but then you're going to be an example to replace what you just chopped down.
That's right.
You feel me? You ain't even doing that. You're just trying to destroy something, and then you ain't replacing it with a legitimate system that they supposed to be doing.
That's right.
Like the boy that I heard with this Egyptology man. He just was coming down here to discredit the scriptures. He got handled, all praise to the Most High.
Yes, sir.
But notice he didn't have nothing to replace, even if he was to drop the scripture. What are you replacing our worship with? What are we supposed to be doing? There wasn't no mercy from the jump.
Right.
He just was coming to administer judgment, and he overlooked, and he looked like Mike Tyson picking up that mouthpiece.
Oh.
The Douglas got on, and he overlooked what it was.
Tokyo thrashing.
That's it for that, Dan. Let's go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 21. Read about David. Some more mercy. Gotta have some mercy as well. So don't be in la-la land. Can't be in la-la land. If you see something that's off, that's gonna lead to somebody's demise or whatever, or the destruction of say this down here, stand up and say something.
That's right.
Gotta say something. Can't go quiet. What? I show someone in 1 Samuel 21. Because Christ mentioned what happened with David, right? Let's go read about David. While he's under the order of Aaron, and see how mercy still was applied.
That's right.
No, they don't go to 15.
You said what, 15? Go to 15? Hold on. I got the wrong one.
Verse 1 through 6.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Trip. Yeah, 1 through 6.
Yeah, 1 through 6.
Yeah, trip. My bad, Joe. Sometimes you misfire. You see that dash in between us. 1-6. I show another example of mercy. Then we get back to some more judgments as well.
What's up?
I'm showing you what it's all about. And even now, being that we're not killing nobody for being in violation of the scriptures, today all you're doing is warning them through the scripture. Via the scripture, like, look, that can't happen in the kingdom of God. If you plan on being in the New Jerusalem, you can't continue in that vibration.
That's right.
You feel me? And that alone, in a way, judges or judges their spirit to where they be like, you know what, let me go ahead and get down.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the mercy that we're not killing them, but we ain't going quiet either. Hey, you know you can't do that in the kingdom of heaven. And that'll make you look for that cool side of that pillar.
That's right.
It do. It make you like, man, I couldn't even sleep after them brothers was reading that. Speaking, I couldn't even sleep. Let me get up in here and do that. Why? Because the Bible is a spiritual book. And it'll straight be on your spirit to where you like, look, man, let me get on up and try to get myself together.
That's right.
See, that's what we supposed to be doing, not going quiet. Well, you can't judge me, and you think that means there's no correction.
That's right.
Well, nobody's wrong then. And everybody's right. Do what you want to do.
That's right. Why we mad at Satan then?
Yeah.
Why we blaming it all on him? What we even bringing that color? Why is there wicked men then? What we going to church for?
What determines that wicked?
Right. But y'all just look out on the Daily Mail, y'all see that Pastor Manning out of Harlem, New York, he got a church, and he got on his bulletin board outside the church, Obama has released the homosexual man on the black man. So black women, get prepared, a white homo may take your man. And he's got this on the bulletin board. You know, so and you click on his YouTube page and he's talking about it. He's saying, look, they got American Express cards and they love the theater. You ain't gonna be able to keep up with that black woman. So they say somebody, a lesbian, showed up at the church the next day and knocked on the door. Saw Cassie in the paper guy. She confronts them like she doing something, and she knocked on the door tomorrow. I'm here to be stoned. So he wasn't there, so the guy that answered the door say, well, the pastor ain't here today, so it won't be today. But they look at that like a courageous act, like she's gonna lay her life down, you know, for what she's doing secretly. You know, so that's what's out there, and that's what they pumping that. If you oppose this, we gonna come right to you, and we gonna tell you, you stoned me. We got to know how to answer that. I ain't the one gonna stone.
No, we're gonna read it.
But I'm about to throw a few of these scripts at you. And when they hit you about the neck and shoulder blades,
Right. You'll know these.
right.
Let's get it done.
1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 1.
What you got, you got?
Yeah, go ahead, sister.
I want to know what's the difference from the man that gathered the sticks and he was stoned for that. Why, you know?
Numbers 15, you speak of.
Yeah.
Numbers 15, the Lord told him on the 6th day gather twice as much. And he decided to say later for doubling up on the 6th day, I'm going to go out there on the Sabbath day anyway and get me some sticks. Right? And the Lord said, you know what? Brick him. Brick him.
Wasn't that the disobedience? That's what it was.
Flat out.
And then at the end, right after that, that's when he commanded Israel to put on fringes. They could look on it and remember the word of the Most High. But that's why he was brick and stone, because he told the whole nation on the 6th day double up. I mean, it was sticks because the scripture said you can't kindle a fire on the Sabbath. But if you had the fire going, all you had to do was just add wood to it.
That's right.
You just kept the fire going. But you weren't supposed to be working to start a fire, right? So the Lord said, double up on the Sabbath day. On the 6th day, get double the sticks. That way you have enough. He stayed, he scratched, he yawned, and say later for the commandment of the Lord, and then he get caught out there because it got cold. He went on out there and tried to grab some sticks on the 7th day, and the Lord wanted to brick him. Get him out of there.
And the mercy he speaks of as well is on the Sabbath. A lot of times, y'all, look, we got more month than money. So you waiting on payday. Yeah, you would have liked to bought before the Sabbath got into the Sabbath time frame, but you couldn't at that point. But repent, but just don't start practicing. I'm just gonna buy late. But the Most High still open that door of mercy and saying, look, when it comes down to it, if the baby ain't got no pampers, you can't wait till tomorrow. You know, because you have to address those needs at hand. Do good. You may have been caught short, but if you slothful in it, I get that tomorrow. And you right at the store, I'll come back tomorrow.
Wrong vibration. And we learn from that example, because all these things are examples. We learn from that example. Prep for the Sabbath day.
That's right.
Right? Don't have his spirit, I go out there and do it then. To the best of your ability, you prep. And if certain things come up, because they will come up. Especially if you got little babies, they will come up. You feel? It's lawful to do good, but to the best of your ability, prepare.
That's right.
Like we preparing to enter into the Lord's rest. The New Jerusalem. There still remains a what? A rest for who? The children of God.
That's right.
So even though this is the rest day, it's a foreshadowing of when we finally rest from all our toil and troubles. Yeah, let's get this though out. 1 Samuel 27.
Chapter 21, verse 1.
Yeah.
Then came David to Nob, to Ahimelech, the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, Why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech, the priest, The king hath commanded me of business, and has said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee. And I have appointed my servants to such and such a place.
Saul was actually trying to kill David at this time. All right, so David ran across the priest, All right, come on, bro.
Now therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in mine hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hollow bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women,
so they could eat this bread as long as they hadn't been or touched or been physical, intimate with a woman. Why? Leviticus chapter 12 goes into the cleansing, Leviticus 15.
That's right.
After you become intimate with your significant other,
That's
man and woman, you go through a period of uncleanness until the evening.
That's right.
So he was like, look, y'all can eat this, but have any of y'all been with women?
Right.
Because it's hallowed bread, it's sacred bread. All right, come on, brother.
And not only, let me say this too, when he said there was no common bread, after the hallowed bread been sitting out for the priest, what don't eat becomes common bread.
Yeah.
And the rest of the people everybody else can kind of eat the common bread before it's stale out. But he said, ain't no common bread left, we just got the holy bread.
Y'all look up Leviticus, get some history on that, just look up these scriptures I'm posting now. Leviticus 24, 5-9, Exodus 29 goes into that bread, goes in that tabernacle, or that temple. All right, go ahead, brother.
verse 5, and David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have kept from us about these 3 days.
David had been a war. She's like, look, I know at least been 72 hours. Ain't nobody touched a woman 72 hours. All right, come on, brother.
Since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in manner common. Yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hollow bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from before the Lord, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away.
All right, that's it for that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 5. That's what Christ was talking about when he was like, you ain't never read about when David ate the showbread, which is only lawful for the priest to eat. That was an example of mercy right there. Lord ain't gonna have you out there banging the war of God, you hungry, and the only bread around is this bread for the priest, but you can't eat. That's right, mercy. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, my question on that, like establishing the timeline as far as, I always wondered why David got to do that. Was it, like, David was eventually king, but not at this point. So was it something with David that he was established, he was okay, like that was made allowance, or it was just...
It was a situation of mercy.
Right.
It was mercy. That bread was only for the priest. But David was banging for the Lord. And it was time to eat.
That's what I was
You see what I'm saying? So it's a situation where, okay, this is more mercy slides in.
Right.
You feel me? The Lord ain't gonna let his boys starve and his men starve. Been banging for them. But there is some bread up there that the priest can eat. But there are still stipulations.
I was just going to say.
Still stipulations.
No, go ahead. You
So it ain't never, y'all, where the Most High compromise his laws ever.
Yeah. Right.
There's always going to be a reason. Compromise just means it's always going to be lawful, but it may not be expedient. So what he did is he brought the order of Melchizedek in within that, so that because men would live by the letter of the law. You ain't no priest, you don't get to eat. Well, they ain't ate in 3 days, they gonna die. They don't care about none of that. Following the law of the Lord. There was no compromise. Neither was there compromise with Moses when the Lord said, I allow Moses for y'all to divorce y'all wives for any cause. There was no compromise with that, because it's lawful that may happen in a bad marriage. That's lawful, but the reason I was doing this is because y'all was turning them out. So rather than turn them out into the streets like that, I allowed y'all just to put them away down to dog them out. So it's still lawful, but there's some mercy in there, because everything ain't expedient at that time. Everybody's lifestyle of what goes on in this man's house is different from this man's house. So it's still lawful, and the only compromise going to be to stretch the law out till you can get to the point of where you understand, because you ain't going to do unrighteousness with this law regardless. So if David had said, well, These three got busy last night. It's only me. David would have been the only one eating bread. They wouldn't have superseded that law if it hadn't been some dilly dally.
All right, let's get this. 1 Corinthians chapter 5.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1.
Going over judgment and mercy of the Most High. You feel me? Showed you even in when they called the Old Testament, the Lord showed himself mercy. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. All right, let's get it done, bro.
Verse 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife.
I know what you say, it's reported commonly. Right. This is the news that's on the wire. Y'all sleeping with your father's wives. What is that? What you call that for? Bernie Mac coined that phrase. Right. You see that? Now I know he called that fornication. So who knows why I can go read
Leviticus chapter 20, Leviticus 18.
Fire it off. You can go
and rubbing on his chin with confidence.
Yeah. he knew the question was coming. Well, I should have shouted that question over there that he proved. But Leviticus, the 20th chapter and the 18th chapter, go into the unlawful sexual acts. This right here is one of them. Laying with your father's wife, whether it be your mom or your stepmom.
Your father's nakedness.
That's what it's called.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Now I know he say this is reported commonly, so this is one of the main problems in Corinth was men was laying with their daddy's wives.
And see, that's why it's called a curse word, because when you did it, a curse was pronounced on you. Cursed be he that lieth with his father's wife. So if you lie with your father's wife, then you are having relations with your mother, whether it's natural or stepmom.
Exactly.
You know, so you will call a mother for unlawful carnal knowledge.
And check this out. And notice you said, y'all acting worse than these Gentiles.
Right.
Come on, brother. Verse 2.
Verse 2. And ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned, that he that hath done this deed might be taken away from among you.
See, so we talking about judgment here. See that? How y'all puffed up and men laying with y'all daddy's wives? Ain't no mourning, ain't no begging the Lord for mercy, getting tripped. He said, y'all carrying on as if y'all ain't do nothing wrong. Nothing's happened. Do what you want to do. See, whenever that vibration around, you know you're in the midst of Satan. Whenever you get there and do what you want to do. You know then, yeah, something ain't right around here. All right, come on, brother.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
For I verily, as absent in body, but present in spirit, have judged already, as though I were present, concerning him that has so done this deed.
So look at, he say after so many reports, because it's reported commonly, like I ain't there physically, but man, I done already judged that didn't happen. Y'all doing that. Y'all doing that. Why he ain't put away from among you? See, too much mercy, you like, oh, bro, this all good.
That's right.
You heard me? But the Lord say, what? You supposed to mark him, get him up out of here.
That's right.
You feel me? He can't come back around here until he get himself right.
That's right.
See? So no, we can't rip the brother of Leviticus 18. Tell you what, you work in depth if you do that. What we do, man, you gotta get him around here with that. Can't be around here, you look up there to be a doctor. Ain't y'all get stepmom. Get what you want.
Right.
All right, come on, brother.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, when ye are gathered together in my spirit, with the power of our Lord Jesus Christ, to deliver such and one unto Satan.
Deliver such a one to who?
Satan. For the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord Jesus.
So hold on, so what that mean?
Right.
What you mean? You drop people off on Satan's front step?
Right.
What that mean? Who know what that means? What it mean to deliver somebody to Satan? For the destruction of the flesh, the carnal mind, the spirit might be saved. Who know what that means? What example do we have in the scriptures? Huh?
Tell him, bro.
He's like, tell him.
No, y'all, the reason Mally do this a lot, y'all, because we need to make sure we just not sitting here. Yeah. You know, if we doing the same thing we were doing in church, then it's going to be the same result. That's it. So, y'all, when he asks questions like this, y'all, we a body, y'all. It ain't us up and teach. If y'all ain't getting it, y'all can't tell it. And if you don't tell it, you can't keep it.
That's right.
So that's why it's not putting nobody on Front Street. It's just like, hey, if we paying attention in here, or we just coming to see a reed shaking in the wind?
Right. Right. Now, Christ in Matthew chapter 10. Y'all write it down. Matthew 10th chapter. He was giving the disciples explicit orders when they go out and teach. Right? And he say, whoever don't receive your testimony, do what? Shake the dust off your feet. Then what he say? It'll be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah. In the day of judgment, it'll be for whoever don't receive this gospel. And we just read about Sodom and Gomorrah. See that? So basically, that's you taking your hands up off of them, basically. You know what I'm saying? Washing your hands and shaking your dust off and keeping it moving. And they say, look, if you don't get that together, it'll be better for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment.
That's right.
Than it'll be for him. That's what means to deliver somebody unto Satan. That don't mean go kill him. Some brothers teach that. That means go kill him. Drop him off on Satan's front step. That ain't what that means. Right. That means shake the dust off your feet. You feel me? Keep it pushing, because he's damned unless he repent anyway.
That's right.
He's done. All right, let's finish it, brother.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
Your glory is not good. Know ye not that a little leaveneth the whole lump?
That's a good question. We got a brother that quote that all the time.
That's right.
All right. Little leaven the whole lump, but trip off our series that is. A little bit of wickedness will destroy this whole body. Right? So we talking about judgment right here. Not killing somebody and sending them to the judgment, but you know what, discerning between what's right and what's wrong, you feel me, and being vanguards of what's going on. You got to. If not, it'll be a free fall. Everybody in here is taking a father's woman.
No.
All right, come on, brother.
Verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Yahushua Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
So it calls the Messiah the Passover, not the Easter bunny.
That's right.
The Lion of Judah, not the Cadbury bunny. It says eggs. It said Christ is our Passover, and That's right. Sacrificed for us. Right? Next verse, brother.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Let us do what?
Keep the feast.
This is Paul's letter to the Corinthians. This is not in Jerusalem. Let us keep the feast. Come on.
Not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
That's how you're supposed to be keeping the feast.
That's right.
Knowing that the Lamb is Christ, unleavened bread of sincerity and truth, not the leaven of bad doctrine, right? And not eating the bread of wickedness and malice. Don't be in the Lord's Passover wickedness on your mind. Because you could eat damnation until you step.
That's right.
All right, come on, brother.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
I wrote unto you an epistle, not to company with fornicators.
Fornicators again, if y'all want to know the definition for it. Some of y'all may be accused of fornicating and ain't fornicating.
That's right.
Go to Leviticus the 20th chapter and Leviticus the 18th chapter. Those are the do's and don'ts when it comes to sexual relations.
That's what can I say, piggyback on that? When they're speaking right there, it's kind of speaking of spiritual, because you spiritually.
It's always both, yeah.
Yeah, spiritually whoring to another God. That's right. You married. So within us being married to him, you know what I'm saying, you're getting down with somebody else.
That's right.
That's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So when you read Leviticus chapter 20, the first thing it talks about is spiritual fornication, even before it began to even think of talking about physical fornication. This thing is way spiritual than it is carnal.
Right. No doubt. I heard that. And then the scriptural verification is Wisdom of Solomon 14.
That's right.
The devising of idols is the beginning of spiritual fornication. But fornication, unlawful sexual intercourse is definitely spiritual. You're dealing with another God, you're a fornicator in the spirit. So when you're in violation of chapter 20, Leviticus 18, you're physically in violation of fornication. So notice he said, I wrote to you in an epistle, a letter, not to company with fornicators. You ain't supposed to, hey, that's my buddy old pal, that's my partner. When you company with it, that don't mean you ain't gonna know him. You feel me? But you're not supposed to be in fellowship with them. Meaning you're not supposed to be partaking of what they doing. It's just what it is. Bro had something that will come to you, y'all. Go ahead, y'all.
1 Corinthians 5:9 talks about sexual immorality. So that's what if fornication was sex, then it'd be one. But you see, it's a difference.
What? 1 Corinthians 5 again?
5:9.
It's in the immorality part. Yes.
Yeah, when it started out in verse 1, talking about men laying with their father's wives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But brother was talking about the spiritual fornication as well. Because you could not be in violation of none of the physical acts, but still be a fornicator to the Lord.
That's right.
For instance, Esau, Hebrews chapter 12, he was called a fornicator because he rejected the covenant of God.
That's right.
Profane and vain. And that had nothing to do with sex at all.
Right, and if you drop down, when we get down to verse 11, it says...
Let's read it. Let's read it. We right here. Verse 9. Let's read it. It's going to clear itself right up.
The word don't need no help.
Yeah.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must ye needs go out of the world.
You might as well be part of the world. Stay in the world. What you talking about you a new creature in Christ for? For what? Come on, bro.
But now I have written unto you not to keep company. If any man that is called a brother,
called a who?
A brother.
A brother. Come on.
Be a fornicator, or a covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard.
Or what?
Or a drunkard.
See, you can drink, but you're not supposed to be getting drunk.
That's right.
You're not supposed to be known, you know what I'm saying, for just every time we see you, tilting that bottle back.
That's right.
And stumbling and peeing on yourself. I ain't supposed to be out of it. You're supposed to be mature enough to handle and know your level.
That's right.
Right.
Sober mind.
Come on, brother.
Or an extortioner, with such and one know not to eat.
An extortioner is somebody that take your money by the illegal use of authority.
Possible.
You see that?
When we just read in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah. Extortion.
Right.
There's an example of that now when I talked about it last week where that cat in Illinois feels that if you were a billionaire, I want 3% of your money to go to this fund for education. Just because you're a millionaire, he wants you to pay extra 3% of your money to go to education in Illinois.
They're going to have to enforce it.
Yeah, they're going to have to be forced, so I'll be like, nah.
Come on, listen.
They're trying to enforce it.
Dr. Nah, what's up, bro?
Yeah, they even go for a person that's following the curriculum of the white diabetes where you have blowing in the wind.
Yeah, that's enough guy. Enough guy.
Yeah, that shit's adult.